Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. Today we're going to talk about some of my very favorite gear and my very favorite ways to camp, which is usually a bushcraft camp. It's the end of summer and there's definitely a chill in the air, and fall time is my favorite time to camp ever. The bugs go away, the weather gets cool, a fire actually becomes enjoyable. So let's get right into it. We'll talk about some of my absolute favorite gear, and I'm also going to talk about the companies behind that gear and why I not only adore the product, but also why I like to support the company that makes them. All of these are pretty much handmade. If not, they are small batch made. None of this is mass produced, so that's already a big bonus. I'm not going to give you any fluff. This is not sponsored by any one of these companies at all. I purchased much of this gear with my own money. I will disclose which ones was sent to me and which ones I bought with my own money. And yeah, just to give you guys fully transparent gear video. Okay, the very first thing that I want to talk about is this beautiful handmade work of art. This is a Finnish Puukko. Puukko is Finnish for knife. And this is a custom order that I bought with my own money. And I want to tell you a little bit about the maker of this knife and also the specs of this knife. So I've had it for a little while now. As you can probably see, it's got some beautiful patina going on. I do not baby this knife. I use it well, but I also maintain it very well, which is important when you have something of like heirloom quality like this. So the maker of this knife, his name is Saku Hankalahti. I don't know if I say that properly, but he's obviously from Finland, and he hand forges Puukko knives. So I actually asked him a few questions, and I asked him to tell me a little bit about himself and then any other information about the process of how he makes these beautiful knives and so on. So this is what he says. He says, "For me, it's all about the old Finnish Puukko tradition. He's very proud and thankful that so many people like his work. He said one of the most important things about the knives that he makes is that he makes them with a purpose for work. He doesn't make them to sit on your desk and be stared at, you know, not used out in the field. So he says with every knife that he sends out, he loves to see his customers use them, put them to the test, put them through their paces, use them for what they're supposed to be made for." So that's very honorable. So Saku makes all his knives to custom order. So basically what I did is I measured my hand from here to here. So this fits my hand absolutely perfectly. I love the ergonomics of it. The shape of the handle is beautiful. It's so nice to use. The handle material is made out of stacked birch bark, which is really cool. And then there's the brass ends, bolsters, I guess they're called. The steel itself is made from 80 CRV2. So it's a really high quality steel. And like I said, completely hand forged by Saku himself in his shop. And he has a really great Instagram where he shows off a lot of the process of making these knives. So I highly suggest you go give him a follow there. And I will put all the information on how to contact Saku in the description below. If you want an heirloom style knife to gift to someone or to buy for yourself, then this is the one for sure. So next up, I get tons of questions about this guy on pretty much every video that I use it in. This is my spice kit. And this is actually not made by any companies other than me. It's a homemade little thrown together craft that I really wanted to do. The leather was sent to me by a dear friend, Elsa Rhae, which I have talked about on my channel many times before. Elsa Rhae and Baron, they have their own channel. They make really great content, so I highly recommend you check them out. I'll leave the link to their channel down below. But yeah, Elsa sent me like a beautiful care package with this, and she does her own beadwork and does a little bit of leather working, so she made me this pouch, and it's really beautiful. All in that package. She actually sent me a bracelet too. I forgot to wear it today. My bracelet she sent me was wrapped in this piece of leather, and I was like, I can put this piece of leather to work. And also as a bonus, I always carry around something that Elsa sent me, which is kind of cool. And basically I just bought these vials on Amazon, and they've worked out really well with the cork tops. So there's just, I put different things in them. So this one's oil, some steak spice in this one, and some like allspice, herbamari, whatever you want to call it, in this one. So next up I'm going to talk about my friend Brittany. She is a leather maker. She just got into the craft within the last year or two, and she is absolutely knocking this out of the park. She learned everything from scratch, and I think she's incredible at what she does. And she's made me a few items here that I would want to show you, and I hope one day you can get your hands on one of her beautiful leather goods. So I'll start with the very first thing that Brittany made me, and that is a sheath for my Husqvarna forest axe. I've had this axe for a long time, and the mask that came with it was absolutely terrible, like actually embarrassing. So the very first thing Brittany did for me was make a new mask for my favorite axe. And here it is in all its glory. It's absolutely beautiful. She started doing some kind of more run-of-the-mill stuff that she can sell on her website. So she started making these big lighter holders, which you can put around your neck, tie to your backpack or whatever. And that's their logo there, Mr. Bigfoot, freak of nature. Next up, same thing. My Husqvarna hatchet had a terrible, terrible axe mask on it before. And so I asked Brittany if she would make me another one. And this one's got their actual logo on it, which is awesome. And another absolutely beautiful piece of leatherwork. All handmade by Brittany. Thank you, Brittany, for making these. And you may have seen Brittany and Tunis on my channel before. We've done lots of stuff with them. They've become some really good friends of ours over the years, and they're pretty awesome, so I highly recommend you go support them if you're looking for some leather goods. Alright, next up is a company called Adirondack American, and they make leather gloves and mittens. So he sent me this a couple years ago, and these are the gloves that I use, you know, on bushcraft trips, around the fire, grabbing pots out of the fire, or moving around coals and stuff like that. So these guys are awesome. Really sweet people too. Great to deal with, and that's important to me, so. Alright, next up is a little shout out here for my friend Joel, who lives in Puerto Rico. He's been producing some awesome like spoon carvings and stuff. Actually, I have a little coffee scoop that he made for me too. And he recently sent me the spoon that he made for me, and he engraves it himself. There's his initials there. So thank you, Joel. I do use this on bushcraft trips and stuff. I really like it. Okay, next up. You've seen this on my channel over and over and over again, and I still consistently get asked about it over and over again. And that is my wooden bucksaw made by the company Bear Essentials Outdoors. So this is completely handcrafted here in Canada, here in Ontario actually. And so I always love supporting local where I can. And the gentleman who owns this company hand makes these bucksaws. He's made so many of them. They really kind of blew up because everyone loves them. Like I've had this one for like, I think 4 years ago, DJ sent this to me. And it's still, like, as you can see, it still looks beautiful. He even had my original logo put on it way back in the day, which is awesome. And then there's his logo right there. Bear Essentials Outdoors. He also started making some other products, which I find really incredibly interesting and also still goes along with my traditional style, which I really like. So these are some new things he's got going on. They're going to be released really soon, but a new product for him. And they're these leather patches. They're Velcro, so if you have a Velcro patch on your backpack or something, you can put them on there. And the cool thing about them is they come with a sharpening stone inside. I often am looking for, you know, something to bring on me that's super small. I don't want to carry a big sharpening stone out there. So if you need to do like a quick field repair on your either your hatchet or your knife, this is a great thing to be able to have at your disposal. Super small, super light, like super thin. Yeah, these are a really cool new product, cool idea. I really like it. And of course, love the aesthetic. He also makes these foraging pouches out of waxed canvas and leather. This one is well used by me. I think you can snap them onto your belt loop. Really awesome. And there's a couple different sizes. This one he just sent to me, so it's brand spanking new and ready for me to abuse it out in the backcountry. And he also makes like a Bucksaw butter. I actually just was sent this, so it's brand new, and I will use it right now to show you what it does. It's good for wood, leather, or metal to help maintain it, weatherproof it, keep it looking good. Another thing that I use on pretty much every single trip, other than a lightweight backcountry trip, is a Firesteel. This one in particular is made with a fat wood handle, so I've actually done it before. If I'm struggling to get a fire going, I just shave off some of the fat wood, and it takes a strike like nobody's business. It's awesome. It's really handy to have like in the middle of winter when you're struggling to get a fire going and it's really cold out. So this is made by Fatwood Firesteels. He sent me this like years and years ago, and as you can see, it's very well used. Really like it. Super handy to have. So if you're looking for a beautiful Firesteel, I highly recommend Fatwood Firesteels. Next up, this stuff goes right along with my traditional looking aesthetic, and these are wax canvas bag and pouch made by Reef Knot Bags. This backpack has been on so many trips of mine. I've re-waxed it a couple times. It's actually due for another one. The waxing keeps it in good condition, keeps the dirt off of it, and helps repel some water. But yeah, I've definitely used these things like constantly. So this is a 30-liter backpack. I have a link for it in the description, of course. The back is super comfortable. It's a little bit padded. And like I said, it's waxed canvas, so it does repel some water. And if you keep it in good shape, it will keep working for you for a lifetime. And that's what I really like about all this traditional gear, is it just keeps giving. And you know, if you put a rip in it, you just throw a patch on it. It's not like that cheap nylon material where it just like, once it starts to break down, there's just no saving it. This is like excellent gear that is, you know, that is completely repairable, maintainable. That's what I really like about it. I think we're getting down to the very last company that I've been wanting to mention. You've seen them time and time again. As I said at the beginning of this, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I just felt so inclined to make a video about all these goods that I really enjoy using and that I love the aesthetic from. So this is a company called Bushcraft Spain. You've seen tarps that I've used, the ground mat you're seeing, this wool mat you're seeing, this is also Bushcraft Spain. Here's the corner of it. So it's an oilskin and wool ground cloth, and basically this is the part that, you know, is nice and soft that you can use on the upside, and then this you put towards the ground and it keeps moisture and stuff from coming up. Really good to use in the wintertime. But all of these products are really great. This is a foraging pouch made of leather and oilskin, and it can even hold a little Firesteel, clips right onto your belt, so that's pretty awesome. They make a natural rope, which is amazing. I think it's made with hemp. So some hemp rope, and I was so surprised at the absolute strength of this rope, and I've used it over and over again, and it's still perfect. I think there was one fray in one of them that I can't even find right now, but like, I want to order a whole bunch more of this stuff because it's all natural. It's tarred, so when you put a knot in it, it can slip out of the knot a little easier. And I've used this to string up like a fully traditional camp, like from the oilskin tarp to the wooden pegs that I make myself to peg everything down. This is what I use to put it up, and it doesn't stretch, it doesn't like let go. It's like really, really, really high quality. I was so surprised that this like worked better than paracord. So this is another thing that I use a lot. It's kind of the same idea as the ground cloth, but it's a ground mat. So again, this is oilskin on the one side, and basically oilskin is like a treated fabric with like wax, a mixture of wax and oils, and that helps it repel dirt and water and all kinds of stuff, and keeps you dry. So I use this as a ground sheet to kneel on, or do shavings on or anything, or work off of, prepare a meal on, whatever. Mostly I use it as a sit pad. They also make this, which I haven't used yet. This is used to make a stool out of some pieces of wood. So you just cut some wood, lash it in the middle, and then it folds out to make a stool. So I've yet to try this. I should try it on a trip in the near future. They make all kinds of wool products. This is a wool poncho I received recently from them. They actually sent me this. A lot of this, actually, quite a bit of Bushcraft Spain stuff I actually bought with my own money at first, and then later developed a bit of a relationship with Bushcraft Spain. They liked the videos I was putting out, and I really enjoy their products, so they ended up sending me a few more things, and this beautiful wool poncho is one of them. So it's made out of 100% merino wool. It's really warm, pretty thick, but not so thick that you can't throw it in a backpack, and it's just too bulky and heavy to bring with you. But it's absolutely beautiful. And I actually have a few of their ponchos and blankets now. I used their really, really thick wool blanket on mostly on my winter trips. It helps to keep me really warm when it's really cold out, but it's really bulky, so you need something like a sled or a full vehicle to, like, if you're gonna carry some of that stuff into the bush. But yeah. Anyways, there's the poncho. I love it. It's beautiful. I use it as a blanket or a poncho or whatever I need. And the last thing I will mention in this video is this new oilskin poncho that I received from Bushcraft Spain as well. So this they sent to me recently, and I used it on a very recent rainy bushcraft trip, and it was like raining pretty hard the whole night that I was setting up camp. And so I wore this, and what's so awesome about it is, number one, you're not wearing some plastic Gore-Tex crap that, like, you can't use near a fire because it just burns a hole in it as soon as you get an ember on you or something. Like, this type of material is really tough and super hardy, and you can't just rip it. And I also have yet to use this as a shelter, so you can actually use this. There's buckles on the side, like snaps, like that. And you can actually use it as a shelter as well. I have yet to play around with that though, so I won't say too much about that, but look forward to that maybe sometime this fall. I'm going to try and use it as an actual shelter to stay in. And that's pretty much it for this video. All of the aesthetically pleasing gear you could ever ask for. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.